Okay, viewers, this is our 1960 Ford F100 body swap. It's on top of a 2008 Mercury Grand Marquis. I figured I'd kind of take you through a lot of this build. I'll start with the front and work our way back. The grill was from a gentleman up in BC Columbia, this guy named Wayne Janzen. He actually built one of these with the Crown Vic, and he did a really good job. He was kind of an inspiration. I'll leave his channel down in the description. But he gave us this grill because ours was totaled, and it had this patina on it, and we just decided to keep it. We liked it so much since we were kind of going with a patina style paint. The lights were, I think I got them off eBay or Amazon, and they were cheap. They were like 108, 120 bucks for the four, and they're like projection headlights, and they got the LED rings on them, which is pretty cool. Moving on, we knew the body was going to be pretty rough when we got it. The body work, it just would have been a ton of work, and we don't really have the skill or the ability as high school students to make that look really good. So we decided to go with this patina style paint job, and I'm really happy with it. I think I like it better, to be honest, than a shiny paint job. I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. It's kind of trending right now, you know, that old school look. The tail lights I got, I think they were an eBay item. They're LED taillights, and they shine real good. They're nice and bright. Tailgate does not operate anymore. It is welded in. You'll see it's welded in here on both sides. But that's okay because we don't really have much of a bed anyway. It's not like you're sliding plywood in here. If you take a look, you'll see we got some outriggers going across where factory body mounts were, and we just welded that right into the bedside. A little bit overkill with the 2x2 steel, but this is what we have, and that's what you got to make use of. We did decide to change the sheet metal gas tank, whatever surrounds the gas tank. It was a piece of sheet metal, and we tried to make it work, and I just couldn't get it to look nice, so we made this 1-inch tubular steel cradle for the gas tank, and it holds it in there real good, and I think it kind of looks a little bit better than the sheet metal. And we have a center outrigger, we got a front outrigger, and we have a rear outrigger that goes across where the factory body mounts are. And then to hold our roll pan in, we have a couple of pieces of structural 2x2 steel, and that kind of holds our evap can as well. So everything's kind of held in here, and that is where our roll pan is. Trying to think what else we did back here. The harness back here, we totally kind of rewired, went through the whole harness, cut out a lot from the harness: the rear doors, rear window regulators, rear power locks, lights, sensors. Even got rid of the crash sensor for shutting the fuel tank off, just hardwired that. Hopefully you don't crash. We're not going to crash, it's fine. So the rear wiring harness runs right up the driver's side, goes into your fuel pump inside the tank, and runs across for your evap can and your lights. It's just one clean harness going all the way across, which I prefer. So that's pretty much the body. There is some mud in it, not a lot of mud, but there is definitely some mud in it. We try to keep things metal where we can, but there was some rot in it, and our body work isn't great, and there is definitely a little bit of Bondo in it. We'll open up the car here. If you take a look inside the car, we kept the original 2008 Mercury Grand Marquis gauges, right, which are buried inside here. We put a piece of plastic over it, and we cut out the original gauge cluster holder, whatever you call it, instrument bezel. Cut that out, modified that so it could hold the Mercury Grand Marquis gauges. There is some stuff that we're still kind of working on. The steering wheel has a little bit of a, it's not perfectly, I want to definitely reinforce that. It's got a little bit of a jiggle to it, but it does adjust up and down. Our light switch, we just kind of epoxied in right here. The HVAC, there's not a lot of options here. It's either you remove everything or you kind of live with the way it looks. So that's what we've decided to do. We've just kind of decided to keep it here. We got rid of the ABS, and we just turned our sensor to the off position here. I'll start up. Oh, I don't have the key on me. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Start up. We're in the works of adding a radio. That should be in this week. We just put air conditioning in. We got air conditioning charged because we punctured a hole in that, so that just got charged up today. So it has heat and AC. we decided to keep the Crown Victoria firewall. So if you take a look, we have the factory Crown Vic firewall. That way we didn't have to like totally make a new firewall and cut everything out and modify the F100. In retrospect, was it easier? I don't know. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. But you know, you got all this equipment on the firewall, and it was just easier, in my opinion, to keep all the equipment there and keep the firewall. We did add some of these pieces of steel in here, some steel plate to blend the two firewalls from the 1960 to the 08. So the floor and the firewall are original to the Crown Vic. You'll see this is our Mercury Grand Marquis floor. We have a filler panel here that comes down and over, and that welds into our original body here. So there is some filler panels that are welded in, seam sealed, and painted up. We kept the original seat. You'll see we had to make some brackets that are welded into the floor here, and the seat is kind of leaking schmoo, but that's okay. And that's welded in, bolted right in, and it's in place. It adjusts. It's not. Is it a beautiful seat? No, but it does the job. The exhaust, I found this single chamber muffler on Amazon. It was cheap, and we added just like a little. We had an exhaust shop actually do this today. They added like a little bit of a downturn because it was kind of weird. It was coming out right into the body. Trying to show you what else. The frame. If you take a look at the rear frame, we had to chop it. We cut. I want to say we cut about 12 to 16 inches off the frame in order to make it fit. So we did have to cut the frame. We also cut the frame in the front. I'll show you that in a moment. I guess I'll pop the hood and show you. Okay, I'm going to attempt to record this while holding the hood here, but this is a factory 4.6 from 2008. I believe it's a 3-valve motor. You can see where we blended the firewall. Let me tell you, it really does not look bad. It looks pretty good. Added some grounding straps in. Looks pretty good. We kept the box. We were able to keep the box there and the fan, so that's good. I know a lot of people had to modify that. We built our battery right into the factory 1960 F100 inner fender. We got our main fuse block right here. We got our main computer right here. One thing that we did have to do was we had to modify the steering. So if you look down there, you'll notice that the steering has been modified quite a bit because the angle of a Crown Vic does not match your angle of an F100. Other things we had to change. We had to put this different air cleaner on because the stock air cleaner just does not fit. There's just not enough space. The frame has been shortened in the front. I want to say about 3.5 inches as well. So we had to cut the frame in the front and move everything back. We had to make new mounts for the radiator support. But if you take a look, I mean, it fits. It looks like it's factory. It fits in here real good. Oh, look at that. We gotta get that bolted up. That's a problem. So we just got like some odds and ends here to finish up. And before our car show, we got a car show coming up this weekend. All right, let me close the hood and do a once over. One thing that we weren't able to do, we weren't able to keep the factory hood hinges. So we added these hidden hood pins, and all the way on the inside here. I don't know if you can see them, but up inside here, there's Jeep CJ like 7 hinges or whatever, CJ5 or. But we got the old school Jeep tie downs there, straps. But that's basically the car. Really happy with this one. This is like a great daily driver. You know, you could drive this thing around, and it's pretty good on gas. It makes great power. I mean, this car was factory 225 horse, and it runs real good. Really happy with it. You see the lights right here. I'll show you the rear lights as well. Rear lights look good. Hey, what's up, Tony? You gotta have Tony sign a non-disclosure agreement. But that's the car. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out. Oh, I'll show you just how bright these lights are. can see our traction control is off, and the dash is lit up like a Christmas tree, but it's all stuff that's kind of beyond our control here. And there are the lights. This thing is bright at night, really bright at night, and it's got a great look to it. Really happy with it. Any questions, reach out.